Welcome to another key session on large language models, LLMs, and related technologies. These videos are designed to sharpen your knowledge and prepare you for interviews in today's competitive job market. Each video includes a free self-evaluation quiz, and for our interns, we provide exclusive Anki flashcards to help you master and retain these concepts effectively. Let's get started. Wishing you the very best in your learning journey.
All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are talking about a genuine game changer in AI, that pivotal moment when it finally learned how to remember things for more than a few seconds. I mean, just think about that for a second. What happens when you're talking to someone who literally can't remember the beginning of a sentence by the time you get to the end? It's frustrating, right? Well, that was the reality for early AI. It made trying to do anything complex, like translating a paragraph or even just understanding the context of a story, pretty much impossible. So how on earth did we get past that? Well, the root of the problem was this really tricky technical hurdle called the vanishing gradient problem. In those early models, as information passed from one step to the next, its importance would just fade. It's kind of like that game of telephone you played as a kid. The message starts out clear, but by the end of the line, the crucial original idea is just gone. Poof. This meant the AI just couldn't learn from things that happened way back in the beginning of a sequence.
And this brings us to a tale of two technologies. So on one side, you had your traditional recurrent neural networks, or RNNs. They tried, but they just couldn't hang on to information for very long. But then came the hero of our story, LSTMs. That stands for long short-term memory. And really, the name tells you everything you need to know. These things were built from the ground up to fix that exact memory problem.
So how in the world do they pull this off? Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around an LSTM is with this analogy right here. Think of them as incredibly smart, super efficient note takers. This is the key. This is what unlocks the whole concept. They aren't just recording everything. No, they're being strategic. They're being selective about it. The very first piece of this puzzle is something called the cell state. Now, this is the core of the LSTM's long-term memory. The analogy of a conveyor belt is just perfect. Important information gets placed onto this belt, and it can travel all the way down the processing line without getting messed with or fading away, which, as we know, is exactly what the old models just couldn't do.
Okay, so having a conveyor belt is awesome, but it's not enough. You need some way to control what you put on it, what you take off, and when. And that's where the real magic of the LSTM comes into play. It uses this brilliant system of 3 smart gates to manage its memory.
So here's how that smart note taker does its job. First, you've got the forget gate. Its job is to look at old information and decide what to throw away. You know, like forgetting your last location because you've just started a brand new trip. Next up is the input gate. This one decides what new information is important enough to actually store. Think of it as saying, hey, this new weather data is crucial for the forecast. Let's write that down. And finally, you have the output gate. This gate decides what part of its notes it needs to look at right now to make a decision, like using the story's context to guess the very next word. It's this beautiful, constant dance of forgetting, storing, and using information that makes the whole thing so powerful.
So we've kind of gone through the how of it all, but let's get to the big question. Why was this such a monumental breakthrough? What was the real-world payoff of giving AI a smart memory?
Well, the results were absolutely transformative. For starters, that memory conveyor belt directly solved the vanishing gradient problem. Gone. This let the AI keep track of context not just over a few words, but over an entire document. And because it's selective and knows what to keep and what to ignore, the whole process of training the AI became way more stable and way more effective. It could finally see the big picture. Look, if there is one thing you remember from this explainer, let it be this right here. LSTMs are smart note takers. They gave AI the power to write down what's important, erase what's become irrelevant, and this is the crucial part. They know exactly when to flip back through their notes to understand what's happening now. This idea is the foundation for so much of the incredible AI we interact with every single day. And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought to chew on. This breakthrough finally allows an AI to remember the beginning of the story by the time it gets to the end. So the real question for us becomes, now that AI can actually follow along with the whole plot,
What kind of new, more complex, and more meaningful conversations should we start having with it? That's what I'll leave you with today.
Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to test your knowledge with the quick self-evaluation quiz. The link is right in the description. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. And if you haven't yet explored our self-paced AI internship program, visit shogini.com for full details. Wishing you all the best in your AI journey.